I am a casting director here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm also a film producer. And my focus is independent film. We just have a small crowd today, so I want to make sure that I tailor this to you because this class is meant for actors. However, the past few years that I've done this, there've been more filmmakers in the class than actors, and they're looking for tips and things like that from a filmmaker's point of view. So we can also do that, just depending on where the interests are. I will just get started by letting you know what a casting director is. So as a casting director, I work for the production company. So the production company will call me and say, hey, I'm casting my feature film, my music video, my stage play. Can you help me get the actors for the film? And so they contract me to have a casting call and auditions based on how they want to participate. They will enter the process early, like maybe they want to be a part of all the casting calls, maybe they only want to be part of the calls once I kind of narrow down the actors for each role, and then they want to be part of the process. And in some occasions they say, hey, you just cast it and let me know, and make sure you have the best person for us for this project. So I always start with that because a lot of times actors think that I'm an agent, and a casting director is different from an agent. A talent agent works for the actor, and they receive a commission based on the work that they are able to obtain for you. So the talent agent sends you notices and casting notices. They work with me a lot of times, and based on whatever work they can get the actor, they get a commission off that. So it's two different type of organizations. So let's see what we have in the room. So are you, what is your role in this whole film thing?
My role in this whole film thing, hello, all three of you.
Right.
My name is Benjamin Sheeler. I drove in from Pittsburgh. I'm an actor over in that region over there, and I'm a SAG actor with the Ohio Pittsburgh local.
Yes.
I started as background, so
Yeah.
I moved from the background once I got a speaking role during doing some background, that I was able to join the union, and then I was able to get an agent as well. And they, like you said, they worked for me. They actually sent me something to the film here, Drifter. They're filming in Cleveland. They did an audition for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm glad to be here, and I'm here to learn and network and maybe perform my monologue competition. I'm in that. So.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm
Yep.
looking forward to that.
So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being here. That's awesome. All right, and what do we have here? What do you are?
My name is Logan. I come from Miamisburg, Ohio, so that's 3 hours away. So I came straight from work, and I'm going to be here the entire weekend. I'm also doing the monologue competition. I have never done any acting, but I really, really want to do it. It's just never been something that I have grown up being done, I guess. So I really want to get into it. I've been taking acting classes, but I'm definitely not at a very mature level, and I'm here to just learn everything that I can, just suck up all the information that I can, like a little sponge.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So are there any casting directors that you're aware of where
I have absolutely no knowledge about anything.
Okay. Okay. So how did you learn about the Horror Hotel Film Festival?
I am on a Facebook page. It's like Ohio Film, I think, and I had that come up. My mom said
That's why I saw that.
Yep.
And that is actually a really, really good way to network and to know what's going on is the Facebook pages. So, and then you?
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm also an actress. I'm also a union actress. And I have an audition due for Drifter as well. That's super cool. And yeah, I am from Cleveland. I am permanently residing in Los Angeles, but I'm here a lot, so always interested in any information or networking I can do.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yes.
My name's Don Bauer. I'm fairly balanced between acting on one hand and writing and production on the other,
Oh, cool.
and love the industry,
Yeah.
love the community.
You're here in Cleveland, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think we may have chatted last year. as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
When's the next schmooze, man? I've been this and that.
we are schmoozing, so I also do a networking event, and it's in August. It's August 21st, Friday, August 21st. It's called the Schmooze. I do it every year, and it's a great way to meet other, emerging actors, filmmakers. During that networking event, I show trailers from current projects of people who are working or kind of filming in the industry, so that we can know who's filming and support each other, and go to premieres and be background on sets and all that good stuff. So I think that's really important for like growth in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you are available, come out. It's at the Bop Stop, which is like on Detroit. It's a great event.
Will it be on the Facebooks? I'm
Yes.
in Pittsburgh, so I kind of follow that way.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we have mostly, and that's Dan O'Shannon in the bag. Dan, do you remember how we met?
I was trying to remember on the way here. I can't. Grinder, right? No, I'm kidding.
You actually came to a schmooze, do you remember?
Oh, exactly. Yes, I did. I do remember that now. Yes, because when you were saying that, I was yes.
Yeah. Yes, and then I have kind of reeled you in since. You probably don't even know that.
Yeah, I do remember, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yes. Well, Dan's class is after this one, so definitely stick around. He's a screenwriter and he's gonna be talking more about all of that. But yeah, so I can just talk, or you guys can let me know, like, what is it if there's anything specific that you want to know more about. Usually when I do these, I do some do's or don'ts, for auditions, just so that you know that every casting director is different. Like, I have really good friends who are casting directors. We'll do sometimes like events together, like panels together, and we'll be on totally different pages. So, so keep that in mind. I will start with one do and interrupt me at any time and ask me questions. But one do that's very important is to be very informed about what you're auditioning for. That's important because that shows the casting director that you are able to follow direction, and that is, kind of the notes that she will give to the production company. She'll say, hey, this character came in, they had their sides prepared, they knew who they were auditioning for, they had a gist of the character in mind when they came in, and it was a good audition. So you'd be surprised how many people just come into an audition and they don't know anything about the sides or we're supposed to have sides, and they're or anything like that, but knowing and following the instructions of the audition. If it's an audition where you have to send in a video, if they ask you to do a full body and a half body, or to slate, and they give you a very specific way to slate, all of that comes into play even before you open your mouth. So make sure you are just following directions. Any questions on that?
I do. So I've done some where they want you to slate in the beginning and some slate at the end.
Yeah.
And personally, I prefer slating at the end.
Yeah.
Because when I'm going to just go right into when I get the camera hit, when I hit play,
Yeah.
I'm ready to do that action there. And when I have to be me for be friendly, I can do that at the end. I'd rather be the character at the beginning.
Yeah, I will say, if they ask you to slate first, if they're that specific, to do so. Not to say that, your audition won't blow them away and they won't, you know, say, hey, that's minor, you know, they
Well,
did
my
eventually
slate sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Might not make it past
But,
that.
so for a cast, sure.
No, I have a question, but let me finish what you're saying. I just-
Yeah, so for a casting director, sometimes we want you to slate first because we need that information. We're compiling it in some kind of, you know, like order that we are taking and we are, you know, passing along to someone else. So it just makes it easier. So if I have an assistant who's collecting the slate information, that they don't have to look through, you know, everybody's audition and figure out where it is. So, yes. Sure.
By the way, in theory, shoot the way you want and then edit it. I mean, you shoot the way you want and take your slate and put it in iMovie and put it in the front of the thing. They get what they want, you get what you want. Anyway.
Thank you.
Well, sure. Thanks. I have a question, because you've seen a million auditions and everything, and been through a million. I want to hear like the horror stories. I want to hear like the worst ones you've seen, or the ones where you go, I will definitely never do that, or that was a big mistake, or how come they changed all the lines, or whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, there's definitely an American Idol type thing going on, and it usually happens at what I call the cattle call. You know, like that's when it's just open. Anybody can come to the audition. Anybody can audition. You know, I always say there's a place for everyone in the film industry, but not everyone is meant to be an actor or an actress. So you can kind of tell from the auditions. Sometimes they do get pretty bad. But one thing that I do recommend is that, or what I look for as a casting director, is that cattle call. Like, I don't really need you to memorize the sides or the script. What I'm looking for is that you can encompass that character, that you understand the character, and that you can follow directions. So if you come in and, you know, it's a script and, you know, you don't have it memorized, but you looked over it, you kind of, you know, made the character in your mind, you've given the character some characteristics, and you come and you do it, and I'll say, you know, oh, it's not a comedy, it's sad. You know, can you redo it? And then I'm looking to see that you have that range and you can kind of switch and you can, you know, you can redo it. Now, there's always a callback. So if you do really good through the cattle call, there's the callback. And at the callback, that's when you should step up your game. That's when you should come and have the script memorized. You'll be so surprised how many people's callback looks exactly the same as the cattle call. So what I'm looking for is like, now you really want this role. You are kind of digging in. You are, you have the script memorized, and you have to be careful when you memorize the script that you don't look like you're trying to remember the words to the point where I'm like, I don't know if you get this, you know. Acting, just like anything else, is a progressive type of, you got to keep learning, you got to keep perfecting your craft. So if memorization is an issue for you, that's an area to work with. So I do see that a lot, which I think knocks people out, and they may be great for that role, but I can't tell because they didn't memorize it and they didn't bring that to the audition. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Oh,
But
no, it did. Thank you.
yeah, yes.
You was talking about callbacks. I remember I did a self-tape, and in the initial video, I had tears, and they called me back. When they called me back, they said, okay, don't cry, do it without that.
Yeah.
So it kind of threw me for a minute, but then they told me that the person, they kind of gave me a little more description on the person as well.
Yes.
That I didn't have before
Yes.
that. And
Yeah,
I didn't
because
still get
sometimes
the
in
part,
your,
but they knew who I was after like 3 or 4 callbacks. Like, hi,
Yeah.
Ben.
yeah, so sometimes like you don't know, like we want to know that what you bring to the character, like
Yeah.
how you interpreted
Yeah.
the sides, and so we want to see that first, and then like you said, if it's good, we'll give you some more direction. We'll say, hey, you're Denzel Washington in Training Day, you know, and then we want to see how you follow directions and if you have that range and if you can, because that's what happens on set, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you were doing it this way, and then for whatever reason the day is shortened, you know, lines have been changed, and it's like, okay, scratch what you were gonna do. Now we need you to do it this way. And that's very important because, you know, time is money. So, you know, the more you can be flexible, the more you can adjust to what's going on, you know, at a given time, just is a tremendous. And you probably see that a lot on television. Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, the actors are always just like, okay, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way, you know. So, yeah. You had a question.
Me?
Not anymore? Oh. I answered it, or I went in a totally different direction. Let's see, what else do I say? Be nice to everyone. You have no idea. Like sometimes I'll have my daughter as my PA who's signing people in, and she tattletales. She's like, she's like, that actress, she was so rude. She came in and she just ordered everybody around, and you know, so you just never know who is, you know, at a casting call. It should be easy enough, but you know, I think sometimes actors, especially after they do a few things, get a little bit of ego. You get to be a diva, a devo a little bit, and that used to work. I think back in the day, you know, like, you know, when casting directors would discover somebody like at the gas station or at the pump. There's so many actors now.
Yeah.
There's, you know, everybody is replaceable. Even like the A-list celebrities can be replaced. So just be nice. That's a big one for me. Being professional, of course, is also a big deal. As a casting director, I do follow you. Like even though my job ends at the casting, like once, you know, the director has picked their cast, I turn that list over. I don't have anything else to do with the project. But I do solicit feedback. You know, I want to know how the cast did and how the people worked. And so, you know, I get that feedback like, oh my goodness, this person was late every day. They were hard to work with. I couldn't give them direction. And then I do, you know, have to take that in consideration when I'm casting my next project. So it all follows you forever. So that's a big one. And I also say that because I value professionalism almost over talent. So if I have two actors, they're almost the same. One is a little bit more talented than the other one, or fits the role a little bit more than the other one, but they're not as professional, I'm probably going to go with the one that's more professional. So that'll win you as well. I also say you're always going to get more no's than you get yeses. So you have to have a really, really tough skin in this business. If you are not good at rejection, this is probably not for you. Yes.
I call it soft rejection
Yeah.
because you never really hear no. You never
Yeah.
really hear no. So
You just don't get
they don't
a-
tell
get
you.
a call,
It's not
yeah.
like going to, you know, IBM and they say, oh no, we got Joe
don't.
Smo over here.
Yeah.
You just won't hear anything, which is a soft rejection,
Yeah.
which is all right. So it's better than a harsh no than you know.
It is, and then some casting directors will give you feedback, some won't, and don't take any offense to that either. It's just they have so many actors coming through, they can't possibly give everybody specific feedback. And sometimes, and most of the time, it has nothing to do with you. So you go, you give the very, very best audition that you can give, and you leave it there. You know, there's like, sometimes there's nothing you can do. Like, you auditioned for a role, and they went with the person who was a certain height to, you know, kind of match better with the lead, you know, whatever, or, you know, they just looked better together or whatever. It's something that was totally out of your control. Like, they wanted somebody a little bit taller, somebody a little bit shorter. So I always say just go, give your very, very best, and leave it and go to the next audition. But don't be afraid to audition. It does help. It is a great place to meet people. As a casting director, I may see you when we're auditioning for one project and think, oh my goodness, that's a great actress. I keep you in the back of my head. Like, I remember you. So the next time I see not every project I get, I have an audition for. Sometimes a casting director will call and they just need 1 or 2 people, and I'm like, oh, I have the perfect person for you. And I'll just kind of, facilitate that way. So keep that in mind, that you are auditioning, yes, for that role, but you're also auditioning for other roles as well at the same time. Yeah. I know. Any other questions? Let me think, what is another one of my,
Do you look at every self-tape?
I do.
Especially when the cattle call, you call it the cattle
Cattle
call.
call, yeah. Well, because, for a while, especially since COVID, everything was a self-tape, and even now, self-tape is still very, very
Yeah,
popular.
that's what, I haven't been in an office in
Yeah,
5 years plus.
yeah, I've only had a few in person. I do prefer in person because I can, do direction and, kind of, we can do a little bit back and forth and some, feedback.
I think that takes the pressure off of us, because,
Yeah.
now we're lighting, we're editors,
Yeah.
we're all these other 5 things that, well, okay, let's put
Yes.
these hats on too while we're making
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
so.
We were talking about that because I know in like big cities, they have like self-tape studios everywhere. You can
Yeah.
just kind of go to one, but we don't really have that like here, like somebody might, be able to create something like that and make some money, but we don't really have that. So like you said, yeah, everybody has to learn to be directors and people are getting so creative now, It's like they have whole productions going on. It's a lot. I don't usually need that. I'm really trying to see if you're the best person for this role. So I don't need the, the music and the lights and the, all the dramatics. I'm really just looking for, you to deliver the sides. So don't get caught up in any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing I found helps dealing with rejection, if you can follow the production and see the finished product,
Yes.
and you can see who, the
Yes.
person who beat you out, it can give you some insight into perhaps what the producer or director was really
Was
looking
looking
for. Because there was one I read for, and I knew I was that character, and I didn't get it. But I saw the finished product, and I saw the fellow who did get the role. He absolutely blew it away.
Yeah.
I mean, he was that character so much better than I would have been.
Yeah.
And it gave me some insight into what they were looking for that role.
Yeah, I think so. And I've had actors say that it's given them like inspiration. It's made them, kind of work a little hard. Like
Yeah.
I thought I was
Yeah.
there, but looking at this actor, I'm like, oh, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it just kind of gives them more inspiration. Yes.
I was just gonna comment on that. I know SAG is trying to reel it in, but one thing like big studios do a lot is they don't stop an audition once they've already casted it.
Yeah.
So you'll do an audition, and maybe they were open to having a non-studio name, but like they ended up getting Zendaya or whatever. But they won't stop the audition. So we have people auditioning for roles that aren't really up
Yeah.
for it, and that's another reason I think. Another way I guess you can feel better if you audition for a role and then you go to see the
Yeah.
movie come out and it's Robert Downey Jr.
Right,
It's like,
Tom
okay,
Cruise or something,
it wasn't
right?
because I didn't do good.
Right,
It was
right,
just
right.
because, the studio wanted a name actor there, and so it's nothing personal.
Yeah. That happens actually a lot. Even on indie films, it's like they already know kind of who. I don't like doing that, but I know a lot of productions do that. They already have their actors in place. They just like to see, just more and more faces, or even build up their database or whatever they're doing. They're not really real roles. So, unfortunately.
I know when they filmed Fences in Pittsburgh, they did bring a lot of their actors in
Yeah.
for that production.
So yeah, it's like Hollywood productions when they come in. We really like the big casting directors here are Angela Boehm and Lillian House. So if a Hollywood film comes in, they are going to most likely have those contracts. And the Hollywood productions that come here, they bring everything. They bring their actors, they bring their craft services, they bring like basically what they're using for us is hotels, background, actors, locations, pretty much. And there may be a few one-liner, two-liner type of roles that, you know, they'll cast, but mostly it's already cast. Even for independent, like the larger independent film, to get funding, they will probably have already had to cast their leads. You know, they had to present to the distribution company like, hey, I have XYZ in my film, give me money, or give me, you know, distribution. So not to, you know, bring you down, but that happens quite a bit. Since I'm in Cleveland, since my focus is independent film, since my focus is producing, when we do our film, we like to make sure that we have local people in lead roles, and then we sprinkle some Hollywood kind of around it, so it's a little bit different. And that's one thing that I kind of, you know, I promote for like Cleveland indie film, or I'm sure Pittsburgh doing the same thing. It's like we just need more local films. So yes, it's great for Hollywood to come into Cleveland. They do spend tons and tons of money in the city, but one thing that we really have to focus on is how do we grow, you know, just here independently. So I was gonna say something else. Any questions in the meantime?
Do you have anything you're casting that's coming up that is going to be?
Soon. This is the other thing. I get productions, especially indie productions, that want to cast all the time. So if I could probably casting all the time. But one advice that I give production companies, especially indie companies that don't have huge budgets or whatever, is to do their casting absolutely last. Like, first of all, get your script together, get your money together, get your crew together, get your casting dates together, get your production together. Casting should be one of the very last things that you do, because you want to fit the actors within, when you come to a casting call for me, I already know your dates. I'm like, hey, are you available for this date to this date? And then, you either are or you're not. And if they really, really like you, they can probably work around and figure out some dates for you. But I pretty much know what all the dates are. And the reason for that is because as actors, you should be able to fit in that program pretty easily. You should not need 6 months to learn your script. You should be able to learn your script. I'll give you an example. And this is true of actors who do sitcom. So we have an actor who's done several movies with us. His name is Omar Gooden. So he comes in, we give him the script in advance. He does not look at that script. he has not looked at that script. He kind of knows what it's about, but he doesn't know the script. When we are on set, while we're setting up and he's in his trailer and his space, he is looking at the scene that we're about to shoot. And when he gets on set, he can recite that script practically word for word. And the way he says it is because he's done sitcom his whole life. He doesn't memorize anything in advance, because as soon as something comes in, whatever was in there is gone forever. And then, he does that, and then that's gone forever until he gets a new set of, lines that he has to learn. And there's techniques for that. So, you got to keep learning so you know how to memorize. It's so funny because there was one scene and he was played a gangster, and he was 12 blocks don't bar nobody, da 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 da. And he just did the line perfectly. And then afterwards he looked at the director and he was like, what does that mean? It's he didn't even know what it meant. He just knew to deliver that, as the gangster role that he was in. So it was very, very impressive and remarkable. Not all of the celebrities that we have are able to do that, but they're able to at least improv or do it in such a way that it's believable and it gets the point across. So, yes. Yes.
I would just say that's probably for veteran actors also.
Yeah.
'Cause, one thing that happens for really big films is they have a table read.
Yeah.
And I know in Hollywood there is a phenomenon of getting fired at the table read. Like if you show up to the table read and you already told everybody you got the role and you're in the movie, and then like you're behind, you don't know the script, you don't know the words, whatever, they have
That's probably
replace people
Hollywood.
at the table read.
Yeah,
maybe like if you're a big
they
name,
still
you
can't
can-
afford to do that.
If you're a
but
big
Hollywood
name, it
can.
doesn't matter. But like if you're trying to impress them and this is your first time with the rest of the cast and the directors, whatever, you should probably have it down.
Yeah. Well, and for that kind of money, you should probably,
Yeah, it is. It's rough out there.
It is, and it's funny because we've had like actors who have gotten roles and they've told everybody, you know, they're so excited, and then they got cut at the table read or at some point before filming, and you know, of course, the movie comes out and they're like, "Where's your, you know, where are you?" That's just. So I always tell people, don't wait till the movie comes out.
That's right. Zip it.
Don't say, let someone come to you and say, "Hey, were you in that movie?"
Well, most of the time they don't even see me. They're like, wait a minute, was you?
Have you done any Hollywood movies or like
I have.
studio films?
Marshall
Oh,
with
wow.
Chadwick Boseman. We filmed that in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And they added hair to me. That's what threw everybody off when they saw me in the film. They didn't
Cool
know
is
it was
that?
me because they did the Hollywood magic. They gave me hair.
Yeah.
I was a juror
Okay.
in the scene where they were picking out jurors
Okay.
in that one. And I've just finished, well, in this business you call it just finished, a year or two. Lady in the Lake, with Natalie Portman and Moses Ingram over in Baltimore. That's Laura Lipkin's book, Lady in the Lake, based on a true story back in the mid-60s. It was a 7-part series, the 7, and they booked me for 3. They liked me enough and wrote me in another one for I was in 4
nice.
episodes. Yeah, I played a number one. I said that's right up my sleeve.
That's so
That's all I
cool.
do. You know, I learned that from my dad and my grandfather. That's all they did was numbers, and so
That's
I
so
kind of
cool.
absorbed their guilty pleasure, and he had to have a list.
Oh.
That was part of the trick. They
Yeah.
said he had to have a list, and I'm thinking a list. Wow. I thought stuttering was right out because I thought you can't stutter and make it look real if you don't really stutter.
Yeah.
It won't look real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I thought, oh, you know, I bet if I manipulate my tongue onto my, so I started talking like this, and that was my list.
Good job.
And it was just one little line I had to
Good
give,
job.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Do you work as a local hire when you travel?
Huh?
Do you work like as a local hire when you go to?
I had to be a local hire for that
Okay.
one. Yep. For Marshall, no, but Baltimore, yes.
Okay.
I think that's important too. Is like
Union hates
being-
that shit though. They
being
hate-
able to travel, you know, and
Yeah.
being willing to travel because there's definitely not enough.
And I was willing to be a local hire because they already made 4 episodes. I knew that would offset any of the travel and any of the whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was straight. So that's the latest. That's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And
Now, what about your agent? Your agent in Pittsburgh?
it's there with Doherty.
Okay.
And in Cleveland too. That's who
Yeah,
sent me.
Cleveland.
Suze and Dunn sent me the request. Normally they say, okay, we have a part for you. They just sent the whole list and said pick one out.
Mhm.
And so I looked at a couple of them, and I decided the bartender, because I tried to do the bartender with Marshall, and that was something. When you mentioned that, I thought about Marshall because I did 2. I did the bartender and the juror,
Yeah.
because Jared let me take 2, and I sent 2 different to him. And I watched the bartender in the movie. He was nice and calm and collected. My
Yeah.
bartender was like, I'm gonna blow up everybody in here, don't you? So I was like over the top, like this is my place. Don't
Oh,
be
that
fighting.
was so cool. So that reminds me, there was a movie that filmed here not long ago called Eeny Meeny. Did you audition for that one?
Which one?
Eeny Meeny.
Oh no, I didn't know about
It's
it.
like a Baby Driver with a female lead. I know Sarah was in the movie. You have to tell us about your
Using that?
process. But it was one of the films that used quite a few Cleveland actors. So it was really cool to see
Good.
like actors that I knew. And one of the roles was that his name is LaShawn Little, and he had his like you know, button down, wild color shirt like they wear in like the 90s with the bare chest, and you know, he's walking around with his rifle, and he was just like so over the top. But those are always such funny roles to me.
Yeah. You can't, you know, you gotta, what I think, you know, when you commit to it, just you commit to it, you in it, and let it go.
And it's memorable, you know, like you can talk about the, so Sarah's got a memorable part too, because she played, well, tell them about your process for Eeny Meeny, like how that happened. So for a newer actor.
That was one that had an open call. So I know like sometimes those roles like only will go through the agents, but that one had an open call, and it was really crazy because the open call was right before the SAG strike.
Oh, wow.
And so I submitted an audition. They were taking self-tapes, and then the strike happened. And, you know, for self-tapes, we use WeTransfer, which only works for like 11 days or something. So I got lucky because one of the casting directors, after the strike was over and they resumed auditions, actually asked me to resubmit because otherwise I would have forgotten about it and nobody would have ever been able to see my tape. And I got really lucky for that one because I auditioned for it and I had my interpretation of the character and the local casting director liked it. And so he casted me, but then the studio didn't like it, or they didn't like my interpretation of it. And so I actually got very lucky because the director liked it, and so he kind of advocated me to get to re-audition. So I had to redo my self-tape like 4 or 5 times, taking the notes from the studio and what they wanted until they were like, okay, she can she can do it. But usually that doesn't happen. Usually when you audition, even though it's not your fault, you have the wrong interpretation, they pick who they want, they do a callback, and then maybe the studio will pick from the people that the casting director like narrowed it down from. So that was a unique situation where the director liked it, so he gave me a couple chances.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think having a relationship with the local casting directors help too, because that advocacy at the end of the day, you know, because I do that with my filmmakers. Like when we do a casting call, if the director's with me while I'm doing the casting call, I always tell them, do not cast anyone during the call. Because they always want to. You know, they'll see somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, you're wonderful. You got the role. We still got 2 days of auditions left. And I'm like, please do not do that. You know, because of course the next day there'll be someone just as fabulous who is just, and then I do like to have a conversation after the casting call. And when they say, hey, I think I want to go with this person. And I'll say, okay, yes, that's great. This person is great. They're very professional, but I do know they won't do a kissing scene. You know, or they won't, you know, so there are things that I probably have knowledge of that we have to have a discussion about first. So casting director is very important. Like I said, they can advocate for you. They can reach back out to you because they like you and say, hey, do you want to resubmit for this one? Or do you want to, you know, redo it? Some casting directors are very, very like involved. Like they will, before it even goes to the director, they will ask you to redo your self-tape and give you direction and tips and all of that, and then they'll really go to bat for you. And for a director to come back and say, no, let's see what else she can do, doesn't always happen. So, you know, all those things aligning and the stars and the heavens opening up is possible.
It's always possible.
Exactly. But I always thought that was a cool story. So if you see Eeny Meeny, you'll see Sarah now. What else?
Maybe about like background opportunities here.
So I'll give you a little bit of information about me and how I got into casting. So I worked in corporate America my entire life. You would never have been able to guess that I would be doing casting or film producer or in this world at all, because I was just a corporate America girl. But I was downsized for my job. I had time on my hands. I went and I was on. I signed up for background for a movie called Alex Cross. It starred Tyler Perry. It was a serious role. It didn't do really well because people kept expecting Tyler to tell some jokes, and it was not.
It was too
that.
serious. He didn't like
He
it.
was serious, you know. So it kind of probably didn't do as well as it could have done. But that kind of gave me a taste of what film was, being a background. I was a background on some indie films, a background on that. But at that opportunity, I knew I didn't want to be an actor after that. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're here like all day, and then they have to sit, and then somebody's got to sit for them, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have the attention span to do this. So, and then I really liked the producers on the set because they were just, you know, doing whatever they wanted to do. So I was like, I think I want to be a producer. So that's kind of where I got. But I tell everybody, go on set and be a background actor and make sure you have the capacity for this. Make sure you know, this is something you want to do because it is very much a game of hurry up and wait. There's a lot of waiting. Being and holding is a thing, you know.
Is a thing. I know.
Just, you know, just waiting to wait some more, you know. So if you are not, I've been on sets where, and I try to, on my sets, I do try, just because time is money, I do try to schedule it out as closely as possible. And the directors I work with, we try to make sure we stay on set, but things happen. On a set, things happen. And so I don't give actors times on sets. I'm like, you come, I'll say come this day, but I'm like, just prepare to stay until you are wrapped. So don't make plans, you know. Don't say, okay, I'm coming and it should only take 2 hours and, you know, I should be out of here, because I've had actors do that and then they're upset because we're not done. We can't wrap you right now. And they're like, oh, I thought I had something to do. I have this plans, I have that. And I'm like, that's why I don't give you a time, you know, to leave. So being on a set as background on an indie set is great networking, first of all, meeting other actors, because they will tell you like who's auditioning, who's got the great sets, because that's the thing too, like some sets are better than other sets. You know, who to follow, what events are good events. So being a background actor and kind of getting used to the industry is like a great way to kind of get your foot in the door. We have, in Ohio, we have something called Ohio Pal. Have you heard of that?
Say it again.
It's NEOHIOPAL.org. And it is ran by a gentleman named Fred Sternfield. And it is where all the indies put all of their casting calls. So if they're looking for background, or they're filming, or stage, film, commercial, even, you know, Lillian and Angela, they will put their, you know, casting calls on the Ohio Pal. You can set it for, so it's free. You sign up for it to be on their mailing list, and then you can set it for, because there's so many that come out every day. So, you know, you're not inundated, because you can be inundated like once a day summary or something like that. Mm-hmm. But definitely look into that. Like we said, the Facebook pages are also very good for people who are willing to travel. You guys can name them. There's Actors Access,
Casting Network.
Casting Network.
Yeah.
Say it again.
With SAG, we got the IMBD Pro, which has stuff on there, but I've never been backstage. That's why I got casted for Marshall. I saw it on there and submitted. What can you tell me about stand-ins?
Okay.
Have you ever casted for them, for any of your?
I have, and that's mostly a Hollywood type thing, you know what I mean? Indie sets usually can afford just to have an actor just stand in. We usually just grab whoever's on set.
I've done stand-in work too in Pittsburgh for Forrest Whitaker, of all people.
Oh, nice.
In Southpaw, the movie, the boxing
cool.
movie. So it's cool. You're only there when they work, so it's
right. When they leave and you just kind of sit there.
If they're only there a few hours, you're there a few hours. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't really wait around. There's no waiting in the green room. It's pretty much everything's moving quick like
Because they,
it
yeah,
does.
because they're not gonna have like the actors hurry up and wait. Like they definitely, know when they're gonna work, and when they're not working, they're off, in their trailer, and it's like, nice and comfy, and they can do other stuff. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, Sarah, you were giving advice.
I was gonna say, if anyone's interested, Drifter needs background actors. I can share the page for that.
Is it Angela?
Angela? It's filming in July here for a couple
Like
weeks.
14th or something to the 20th or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It is. It's a good place to kind of see where there's so many roles that you can take in this business. So I know people automatically think of actor, they automatically think of director. There are people on set who their job is to put tape on the women's heels so that they don't make a sound when they're working. There are electricians, there are set designers, and so being background is a good way to kind of look around and say, maybe I like doing that. I know a lot of actors, especially if you want to do this full time, generally are able to do something else, in between acting, on set. So they're on set in some other capacity, and then, they also do their acting stuff as well.
What you saying, like they have a side hustle or something?
Yeah, yeah. So, and there's plenty of it. There's a lady here in Cleveland. She's a travel coordinator, and her job, and she's the only one in Cleveland. So whenever Hollywood comes in, they hire her, and she does it remotely. And all she does is she coordinates the crew and the actors' travel. So she gets them here when they're supposed to be here. She books their airlines. She books their hotel, car, whatever they're supposed to, have, all the different times that they need to be here. And then she, books their return home. And that is her union job with.
And she gets credit in the film for that, right?
She does. She does.
Nice.
And because she's in that position, she usually has a good relationship with like the directors, the actors, because she's communicating with them. And when they say, oh, we need a PA for, this actor, she has input. Like, so she's gotten so many people positions, in films that have come here just because of her relationships by being the travel coordinator. Go figure. So, yeah. But how much time we got? So we got like 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions? I think we're good. Let me see if I missed a do or don't. I tried to write them down, so didn't miss anything. I think we've covered quite a bit. I'll tell you some things you can look for in the festival in the next couple minutes. So, Dan's his lecture's next, which you should definitely stick around for.
I'm writing it now.
Tomorrow we have the film commission is coming in tomorrow, which is always good because they are good at giving you kind of a heads up of what's coming. So you can, and how you can apply and how you can utilize their website, which is actually, very informative. And the resources and tools that they offer. So you definitely want to check that out. Mike Berry, I work with quite often. He's a director here. He's got movies on Stars and Hulu and Tubi, of course, and Prime. He's going to talk about, so when we premiere a film, we have a premiere, and every single premiere sells out. Our very first premiere, we sold over 3,000 tickets. So he's great at marketing and, hand-to-hand sales, and using social media to be effective to, you know, let people know what you got going on. So he's got a panel tomorrow. We have some competitions. We have a special effects, my favorite competition is special effects makeup competition. And there some, you know, makeup artists that are coming in and they are going to have their models and they're going to do like a horror type of makeup. And, you know, they win prizes for that. We have a spooky competition, costume competition tomorrow as well. So if you have your Halloween costume, you can win like $100. So just put it on, come over. Tonight is the award ceremony, which is great. So if you guys have films or are in films, what I like about Horror Hotel is that they have more categories for you to win. So it's not just the, you know, you have hundreds of films that come in and there are 3 winners. Like, no, there are categories. There's categories for Ohio filmmakers. There are categories for best feature, best short, best, you know, best overall. So there's quite a few films, and we also recognize our Hall of Fame filmmaker class of 2026. So all this stuff. So that's the festival. Thank you guys for being here, and we appreciate the support.
Thank you.